What is up, my beautiful bros? Maine-iac here with another game day spreads, picks, whatever you want to call it. It is January 10th, Thursday, and stay tuned for the end of the video. If I can, I'm going to try to find the current second ballot of the All-Star thing. It's just you talk over it with you guys so you can see who's where, and I want to know if you guys agree. But let's get to the games first. We have the Celtics at the Heat on TNT, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. A nice early game for the West Coast fans on TNT. Boston's currently favored by 3 here. I think Boston does win. I do think they cover. I would take them up to a 6.5-point spread. They've been shooting a lot more consistently, playing better defense. Their offense has been more consistent as well, and I think that is a big reason why ever since they started 10-10, they've been 15-5, one of the better records in the league. I do think the Heat have a pretty good matchup here at home, and the Heat do play pretty well at home. So it should be a good game, which is why 6.5 I think would be the max I would go. And in the 3 hours until game time, it could very well change. You have the Clippers at the Nuggets. Nuggets currently favored by 5.5 here with Jokic. I'm definitely taking the Nuggets to win and cover here. I do like what the Clippers are doing. I just don't think they'll be able to do enough to, do it against Jokic and them. But one thing I will say before I go to the next game is I think Jamal Murray, after being embarrassed by Harden, will bounce back with a little bit of fire in his motor. And then you have the Thunder at the Spurs, Texas versus Oklahoma, always an interesting matchup. TNT 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 or 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Power to the back-to-back. Thunder are currently favored by 1.5 here, and I'm going to take the Thunder to win this one. I think the key here is going to be Steven Adams and Paul George. Paul George stretching the court, making the Spurs defense move around a lot. And then you got Steven Adams. His ability to control the boards in this one will be tremendous. And I don't mean just defensively. I mean controlling the offensive boards will be huge. I think if the Thunder to get the advantage in second chance points, they will win this game. That being said, I think 1.5 is almost ideal, mainly because I know what the Spurs are capable of. They are 24-18, only maybe a game and a half, 2 games back of the Thunder currently. So I think it should be a good game. 1.5-point spread. I love low spread games just because it makes it that much more intense. Every basket at the end in a really close game is so meaningful. It's fun. And then you got the Pistons at the Kings. Kings favored by 5 here. I'm going to pick the Kings to win and cover the spread here. I would take them up to 5.5. Nothing too much more dramatic. One reason for that would be because I think the Kings are more athletic. I think they're younger. They have more fire. I think the Pistons, they're kind of, they got a bigger motor in all honesty, but I think some of the gears are grinding, and I think that's gonna prevent the Pistons from being exactly who they can be. I think they are capable of quite a bit, but it's gonna be a close one. Anyway, now for the All-Star ballot. If you guys are interested in listening to this, feel free to continue. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. That being said, the front court currently in the Western Conference is being led by LeBron James. LeBron James is the leading vote getter in the West, which would make him a team captain. But right behind him, the second vote getter of the West is Luka Doncic for the Mavericks with 2.22 million votes, 2,220,000 votes. That's 130,000 more votes than Steph Curry, which is absolutely insane. Overall, front court, it goes LeBron 1, Luka 2, Paul George is third with 1.8, and then you got Durant with 1.7 and Anthony Davis with 1.5. But fun fact is, if you look at the ESPN vote counter, they have 1.54 in the hundreds of thousands column. It's just 2 digits instead of 3. I love typos. They are fun. And then in the backcourt for the Western Conference, you have currently the 2 leading vote getters are Steph Curry and Derrick Rose. Steph Curry at about 2.1 million, Derrick Rose at about 2, and Harden 300,000 votes behind Derrick Rose, which is very interesting considering how hot James Harden has been. I think that's mainly because a lot of people don't like James Harden, so a lot of people just aren't voting for him because they don't like him. And then you got Russell Westbrook 4th at 1.4 million, and I know this is a typo here as well. There is another number missing because it says Klay Thompson's fifth with only 70,000 votes, and I know that's not happening. And in the Eastern Conference, the top 5 vote getters for the front court are Giannis Antetokounmpo with 2.6 million, close to LeBron. He's the leading vote getter in the East. And the leading vote getter in the backcourt is Kyrie Irving at nearly 2.4. So to see if Kyrie Irving is going to be a captain is something that's going to be fun to watch. Kawhi, the rest of the front court is Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and Jimmy Butler. Backcourt, Dwayne Wade, Kemba Walker, Ben Simmons, and Victor Oladipo. But the way that works is very, very interesting because, it's very interesting because some of the people who are like 6th and 7th that I know of so far are like Vince Carter and such. And I love it. I love it. I love how the All-Star format works, although I feel like centers aren't getting enough love. It's more of the flashy players, like the power forwards, small forwards, ones who get more offensive opportunities, ones who shoot more threes. Personally, if you watch game, I think centers like Al Horford, obviously, he got some recognition last year being an All-Star. Other centers like Drummond, at some points in time, he hasn't been as good this year as he was last year. Jokic, I don't think they're getting enough attention. Granted, with Jokic, it's mainly because he's on the Nuggets, and the Nuggets don't get nearly as much attention as every other Western Conference team. Even though they have one of the best records in the league, they still don't get much attention. Anyway, I hope Jokic gets a starting nod at center because he deserves it. Dude's a beast. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think currently about the top 5 backcourts for West and East, and then the front courts. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.